there is nothing that we know of that breaks the circle of poverty better than employment.
A Columbia organization wanting to help unemployed workers.
Ohio police talk about the capture of jail escapee Brian Atkinson.
And construction delays have homeowners calling the Better Business Bureau. KOMU 8 News at 6 starts now.
From Studio 8A, coverage you can count on in high definition. This is KOMU 8 News at 6.
We're learning more tonight about the Missouri man captured in Ohio last night. Brian Atkinson is behind bars after escaping from the Caldwell County Jail last month. We know his arrest was not an easy one. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jem Reed.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Police in Ohio arrested him yesterday after someone recognized him. KOMU 8's Melissa Helm spoke with the police department about the arrest. Melissa?
Police captured Atkinson in Westlake, Ohio yesterday afternoon. Westlake is near Cleveland also. Authorities took Atkinson into custody at a nursing home after getting multiple tips on his whereabouts. Captain Turner tells me Atkinson was uncooperative with officers when he arrived at the jail.
He was kind of difficult at first. He wasn't going to submit to fingerprinting or photographing. He wasn't going to play nice in the sandbox, but eventually one of our detectives schmoozed him pretty good and got him to cooperate.
Administrators set up this Facebook page last week to spread the word about Atkinson. Through donations, they raised $3,200 for the person who tipped him off to police. I spoke with the page's administrator who says the money will be donated to Green Hills Women's Shelter. The shelter is the chosen charity of Atkinson's ex-girlfriend and accused victim, Lauren Crawford. It has locations throughout Missouri.
Several Mid-Missourians want their money back. They say a Columbia construction company failed to finish projects. Today, the Better Business Bureau warned consumers to be careful when working with Schweitzer Construction. KOMU 8's Nicole Cartmel joins us to tell us how to avoid getting into this situation.
Schweitzer Construction has 3 goals. On the company's website, it says it wants to maintain affordable pricing, consumer satisfaction, and lifelong relationships. But the Better Business Bureau says Schweitzer isn't meeting those standards. At least 5 people have each paid more than $3,000 for simple house repairs. Of tips to consider when hiring a home repair contractor, visit our website at KOMU.com.
A garage fire this afternoon left 3 Columbia residents with more than $50,000 worth of damage. Firefighters on the scene say they saw heavy smoke and flames coming from the garage of a single-story home on Eagle View Court. The Columbia Fire Department got the fire under control within 15 minutes of getting there. 3 adults who lived at the home got out without any injuries, but the fire did destroy a vehicle and a boat. At this time, the Columbia Fire Department is still investigating the cause of the fire. The homeowner thinks a faulty lawnmower caused it.
Cole County Sheriff Greg White is concerned about Missouri's controversial gun bill. The bill says all federal laws that limit the right to bear arms would be invalid and the state would not recognize those laws. Missouri's veto session begins next Wednesday.
Columbia's car sales are up by more than 50% according to the recent Federal Reserve report. Nationwide car sales are up by 17%. Local car dealerships say they've noticed a hike in sales over the last year. There's even been a shortage in some of the more popular cars like Ford F-150 and the Toyota RAV4. A reason for the increased sales is an improving economy that's building up consumer confidence.
That same Federal Reserve report showed Mid-Missouri home sales are also rising. The Columbia Board of Realtors released its monthly report showing a spike in home sales. 46% more homes were sold this July. Preliminary numbers for August show a slight decrease in sales. Those numbers will be available September 16th.
It seems like an obvious solution. Find a job, get out of poverty, but that's not always a foolproof plan.
First, you have to find a job, then you have to find a job that pays enough that you can survive. In tonight's Poverty in Plain Sight, KOMU 8's Emily Spain takes a look how Mid-Missourians are struggling to find jobs.
Columbia has a lot of stable employers. The university, the hospitals, 2 big insurance companies, just to name a few. Our unemployment rate is 5.5%. That's lower than both the state and the nation's rate. So it seems like getting a job here would be easy. But for that 5.5%, the search for a salary is almost a job in itself.
Well, just scroll up just a hair.
In a small computer lab off of Vandiver in Columbia, Cheryl Wade Coleman is on the hunt for hope.
Have a nice weekend.
Emily Spain, KOMU 8 News, Columbia.
A Job Point employee told us there were more than 50 applicants for one opening. That opening was for a morning custodian.
2 people are dead after a car drove off of Pettis County Road last night. 22-year-old Bonnie Osborne and 24-year-old Christian Osborne of Windsor, Missouri, were both passengers in the car or in the vehicle when it crashed. The driver, 33-year-old Eric Evans, was sent to University Hospital with serious injuries. The State Highway Patrol says the car was traveling at a high speed on Main Street when it drove off the road and hit a utility pole. Then the car rolled over several times before hitting another utility pole.
Kansas City police say a homeless man was sleeping in a recycling bin this morning when a garbage truck pulled up alongside. The man will survive with 2 broken legs. The driver told police he heard screaming at his next stop and found the man in the back of his truck. The homeless man says he heard the truck pulling up but wasn't able to jump out in time.
It's after Labor Day, but we're still staying above that 90-degree mark. Rosie Newberry's here with a preview of your weekend forecast. Hey, Rosie.
Hey, Brittany. Unfortunately, we are just going to be tiptoeing right above that 90-degree mark for the next few days here in mid-Missouri. And some bad news on top of that, I hate giving this sort of stuff, is that not only what we're expecting for temperatures, but our next hopeful chance of rain and when that will be coming into the forecast. All of those details will be coming up in just a little bit.
What's this eating my plant?
Coming up, a new pest making its way through mid-Missouri farms.
Now the time on your Thursday afternoon, taking a live look right here over downtown Columbia. It's actually a beautiful shot. We did get a little bit of extra cloud cover this afternoon, though, and that honestly is a little bit like a lid on top of a boiling pot. I love that I'm here for these first alert weather IQ questions. Here's the one for today. The rotational speed of the Earth at the equator is roughly A, 100 miles, B, 500, or C, 1,000 miles per hour.
It's 25,000 miles around, 24 hours in a day, so it would have to be C.
You know, Jim put so much. Brittany is so shocked. Yes, you are correct. It's about 1,035 miles per hour at the equator. I know.
I didn't know he could do math.
Has heard this question before. What you may not know is that it's actually totally dependent on latitude. The farther you head to the north or south equator, it's actually 0.
There you go.
Jim knows some stuff.
All right,
I tell you what.
Thanks, Rosie.
Sure.
I'll have the details on a new fruit fly that could be slicing its way through mid-Missouri's fruit supply. That's coming up next.
A new pest is spreading fast across Missouri. It could mean higher costs for both farmers and you, the buyer.
KOMU 8's Alex Mallon joins us live from Bradford Farms, where he says farmers are on the lookout for a new crop-killing fly.
It's called the spotted-winged Drosophila, and it could make events like the Bradford Farms Tomato Fest more of a hassle to put on. That's because when this fly isn't eating, it's making more flies. And in just the past few days, it's given farmers yet another task ahead of a busy harvest season.
It's tomato picking season across Missouri.
Wood says he plans to change protocols for the farm in inspecting vegetables and fruits. He says that could mean more scouting or introducing insecticides to the crops. Reporting live from Columbia, Alex Mallon, KOMU 8 News. We'll be right back after this.
Now, from the Ford Sports Desk, KOMU 8 Sports with Chris Gervino.
Hello, everyone. The Cardinals look to earn a split of their 4-game series in Cincinnati. Jim Reek graced the golf course in the Pro-Am, I understand, yesterday. That's sports.
Coming up on KOMU 8 News at 9 and 10, some Columbia homeowners are dealing with discolored water. Is it safe to drink or not?
And plans for a new convention center in mid-Missouri. We'll tell where it is and when it's expected to be finished. Rosie?
Thanks, guys. And of course, just one quick peek at your weather recap here in mid-Missouri. Variable clouds. I know that that's a tough term, but passing cloud cover, that's what we'll have here in mid-Missouri tonight. And then the slow and steady climb upward, guys. That could be an escalator, an elevator, whatever you want to call it. We're moving upward as we head into the weekend.
That is our time for now. Thanks for joining us.